All right, guys, welcome in to Big Hitters Only. Want to welcome any new listeners checking in for this episode, a very special episode. I think one of our best ever when you consider the two guests on here and the conversation we had, not only with former Governor Roy Cooper, but also Adam Smith on the UNC and basketball side. On Friday, we had Roy Cooper on Big Hitters Only, former North Carolina governor, running for U.S. Senate. We talked to him for 15 minutes, getting to some UNC basketball talk, some Roy Williams talk, why he's running for Senate, and a couple topics related to his political career and his love for UNC basketball. We then jump in with Adam Smith, former UNC beat writer, former ACC beat writer, former Elon beat writer. We talked to him on Sunday morning following UNC's win over Wake Forest, 87-84, as the Tar Heels slipped by the Demon Deacons in Chapel Hill on Saturday. We talked with Adam for about an hour, going deep on UNC's lineup concerns, the perimeter issues with Luka, Bogavac, Kyan, Evans, Derek Dixon, Seth Trimble, deep on kind of, even though UNC's 14-2, kind of the issues surrounding this UNC team, what's going right, what's going wrong, what can be fixed. Also get into like the issues of NIL and paying these transfers and roster building and then get to the ACC a little bit as UNC kind of heads on their road trip to California to play Stanford and Cal. Really good episode. Please tell your friends, rate, review, subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Welcome new Big Hitter only listeners who are checking in for the political aspect of this podcast. Tell your friends. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Roback. Use promo code BHO at Roback, BHO20 at Roback.com. Sweatshirts, hoodies, shirts, t-shirts, joggers, anything on the Roback website. Use promo code BHO20 for 20% off your first time purchase. Guys, thanks for listening. Here is Roy Cooper and Adam Smith. All right, and now on Big Hitters Only, we bring on a very special guest, Roy Cooper, former North Carolina governor, and now running for Senator of North Carolina. Roy, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Ross? Always glad to be with you.
Yeah, I really appreciate the time. We're going to jump right into it. Just off the top, man, your PR guy, Ben, is a stickler. It was as if you were coming on like Meet the Press or something with how many questions and how careful the questions had to be oriented for this.
Well, you know what his problem is. He's a Wake Forest guy.
I know.
Just like my dad.
Exactly. Big game this weekend. We're gonna get into it. So let's start with Tar Heels. You're a double UNC alum, law school and undergrad, and I've seen you many times at games when I covered UNC. This team, 13-2, coming off a loss to SMU, heading into the Wake Forest game on Saturday, recording this on Friday. What do you like about this team? What excites you? What kind of gets you going that you really like about this version of the Tar Heels?
Well, you got a once-in-a-generation talent in Caleb Wilson. He's just the whole package, not just an amazing basketball player, but his personality, his leadership ability. He's just the kind of guy you'd say, oh, God, I wish you could have him for 4 years. We know we're only going to have him for one. But, I mean, he just brings fun to the game. I loved his social media where he gave Beats headphones to all of his teammates, one of the products of NIL, which is great. But this is a good team. SMU game was not good. I was a little surprised at how powerful and how physical the SMU team was, and combining that with the 3 pointers they continued to knock down on us. It wasn't our best game defensively. I think they surprised us a little bit. Hopefully, a young team like this learns lessons, and I think it's going to be a good year. I think we've seen how much Seth Trimble means to this team. Coming back from his injury, he is what an amazing leader, and also a fine young man. So I think it's going to be a fun year. Got to hit free throws better. I looked, I watch a lot of games, and man, we miss free throws. And I looked, we're at 68.5% free throw percentage for the year. That's not going to cut it for
Yeah,
a championship team. Got to do a
and
little
you just
better
got to
than
hit
that.
threes. You got to hit threes.
Got
I
to hit
mean, you
threes.
got
Got to hit threes. Got to hit free throws. So
yeah. It seems like
that's
the
true.
front court's figured out, but the 3-point shooting, he's got to be consistent from the different players. Does Caleb
Well,
Wilson?
our big man has got the top of the key figured out and knocking down that
Yeah,
3-pointer. Just keep feeding him the ball up there instead of down low.
I think a common conversation with a lot of UNC fans is like, is Caleb Wilson the best freshman at UNC since? I mean, like, I think it goes all the way back to Tyler Hansbrough. If not, he might be better than Tyler Hansbrough. Is there any player that Caleb Wilson reminds you of, whether a former Tar Heel or someone from the NBA? It's kind of hard to put an exact finger on the type of player he
this
is.
is high. This is double high praise, but he's sort of a combination Vince Carter, James Worthy kind of guy. I
Okay.
mean, he is an extraordinary player. He's got the leaping ability, but he's also strong inside. He can shoot. He really is the entire package. I think he's going to be an amazing pro for many years, and he hasn't reached his potential yet. That's the scary thing
Oh
about
yeah.
this guy.
Well, he's
So
only 8.
it's and you can tell he's learning a lot during the year, and let's hope that he ages a year as the time comes to approach the tournament. Have a year under his belt, and maybe this team can make a big run. I hope so. It'll be
I think
fun to see.
the big thing now is they're double teaming him, and I think people will see that and keep
That's right.
doing that. So how he
That's right.
handles double teams will be huge. But
But
yeah,
he's a
he is
good
super
passer.
young.
He's a good passer, and
Hmm.
he's passed it pretty well out of the double teams, and he's got to get more proficient at doing that. But I think that Hubert hopefully can find ways to make sure that we get him isolated on people and use his ability to make them pay when they double team him and sometimes triple team him.
Coming off the SMU loss, what's you mentioned free throws, but is there anything else like a glaring concern or something you have you're a little nervous about heading into ACC play and the AC tournament and NCAA tournament? What's one concern you have for this team?
Well, I think Coach Davis hit on it, but the loss of defensive intensity in that game and letting those guys hit so many wide open threes, can't let that happen. Just can't. So I hope this is a learning experience game. And I think SMU is a really good basketball
Yeah.
team. So, I mean, we may hear a lot from them because they've got some excellent players, and I think they're better than we anticipated.
I understand you have a good friendship with Roy Williams, the former UNC coach. Is there something you can tell us about him that we don't know? A funny story, something that we don't know?
So he's fond of retelling a story not in the way that it happened. So I'm very proud of the fact that I played Phil Ford in high school. I played for Northern Nash. He played for Rocky Mount Senior High. We triple teamed Phil. We did everything we could to stop him. They beat us every time Phil was a year ahead of me. But I was part of the triple team one night. He drove through two other players and was doing a scoop shot, and I blocked his shot, knocked it out of bounds. I like to just say blocked his shot, and people can like imagine that I'm up around the rim, but it was actually about shoulder high. But still, if they had kept block shots in a category back then, I would have had a block shot. And so I was very proud of that. And I tell people that my claim to fame is not being governor or anything else. It's that Roy Cooper, one night, Friday night in the Rocky Mount High School gym, blocked Phil Ford's shot. He got 52 points that night, but by God, he did not get 54. So Roy Williams tells this story that Phil gets knocked down and is lying in the free throw lane and then tries to shoot it, and that I block it at about knee high, and which is just not true. Another thing about Roy is when he gets serious, he cares deeply about public education, and he will talk with you about particularly when I was serving as governor and even before, about the importance of stepping up and supporting public education. And I think he and Wanda have shown that over the years in their philanthropy and in their public statements about the importance of all of that. He's just a great person, and love the way that Roy has continued to support the team and showing up all
Yeah.
the time and being on the road. And I love to see him when I'm there.
He's a great representative for North Carolina, for our state. A product of
No
North Carolina
question.
Public Schools, as are you and as am I. So something we all have in common there. All right. You want to talk Bill Belichick? Is that safe? No. Any
Oh my
comments on Bill
God.
Belichick? What do you give me your general thoughts? You may not be a football guy, but just as a
Yeah.
fan, what do you think about the
I, I,
whole?
I I wouldn't have gone that way, but several people in the university decided it was the right way to go. It's a big investment. The positive is that UNC football was talked about a great deal, not necessarily in the best light. I hope that this season can be successful. I think when you step back and look at Belichick and just the whole NCAA, and particularly in football, the transfer portal, NIL, it's insane. It is absolutely chaotic, and you
Yeah,
don't know from moment to moment what your team is going to look like. And any coach, regardless of where you're from or what your history is wrestling a bear with NIL and transfer portal right now, and commitments really aren't commitments anymore. The thing that I would say is that NCAA has got to find a way to put some guardrails on all of this and set some rules. I think everybody wants rules here because it's just so
yeah.
frustrating. I see that we've got a commitment, then we don't. We've got a commitment, then we don't. I think he's out there. He's working. He's got his team working, trying to build a team. He obviously needs to build a defense that they didn't have very much last year. He needs to. Maybe he's found a quarterback. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. You know that the Carolina football coach's main goal is to delay the question from the fans, and that question is, when does basketball season start?
That's right.
And
Exactly.
so that's the main goal of the Carolina football coach.
Exactly. All right. Some quick hitters here. We'll move away from sports and get into your run for senator, U.S. senator. So we'll try to jump through a couple questions here and get you out here on time. So why
Sure.
are you running for Senate? Like, you've been a governor, you've been a politician your whole life. You could easily retire to the mountains or to the beach and live the rest of your life in North Carolina and chill and relax. But instead, you're running a campaign and hopefully getting up to D.C. Why U.S. senator?
Well, look, I grew up working on a farm every summer until I went to college. I also practiced law in private practice for 18 years and then got the opportunity to serve as Attorney General and Governor of North Carolina. But in talking to people after I've left office, things just cost too much right now. People are paying too high rent, utility bills, childcare, their health care costs too much. And what is happening in Washington right now, uh, they aren't helping everyday people. As a matter of fact, we were able to get Medicaid expanded in North Carolina, and 700,000 more people have health insurance. But what's happening in Washington is trying to take all of that away. So I want to help everyday people. I want to be a strong, independent senator for North Carolina. I want to work with this administration when I can. I want to stand up to them when I need to and put people of North Carolina first. I hadn't planned to go to Washington, but these are not ordinary times, and I knew that I needed to step up for my state and my country, and I'm excited about the opportunity.
So inside baseball here, how does that work? Like, who is someone's just like, Roy, we need you. Like, this is the time. There's gonna be an open seat. Tom Tillis is not running anymore. Like, this is the chance. Is that it's just someone kind of the powers that be kind of make the
No,
call to
no,
call you up?
actually, this came from myself. I'm a person of faith. I believe to whom much is given and much is required, and I've had a lot of blessings in my life. I've had jobs that I've loved, to get to lead the state that you love every single day for 8 years was an amazing opportunity for me. I've had good physical health. I have a wonderful wife and three beautiful daughters. I've always had emotional support and financial security, good health. And I knew that at this point in my life, with what's happening in our country, that we need people who've had practical experience bringing people together. I mean, I've worked with Republicans. I had a Republican legislature for 8 years, but we still attracted 640,000 new jobs, became a clean energy epicenter, expanded Medicaid. We're the best state for business 3 out of the last 4 years. So, I want to work across the aisle. I want to try to break the gridlock and curb the chaos in Washington. And I think someone like me who is not of Washington, I'd never really even wanted to necessarily go to Washington, but I feel like I need to now. So this was something that I thought about. I had a lot of people who wanted me to run, but I had to come to that conclusion myself, and I'm glad that I did, and I'm enjoying the campaign and talking with people and looking forward to this opportunity.
Two more questions. We'll get you out of here right at the buzzer, depending on how long your answers are. What are one of the most pressing issues for the state of North Carolina right now? You have a unique perspective. You've been governor, you've lived here, and now you're running for Senate, so you can take those issues up to D.C. What's the one thing that we as a state need to be concerned about for the next 5, 10, 15 years?
It's family economics and the cost of living right now. So many people, and particularly I've got a lot of young people on my staff who don't think that they're going to ever be able to afford a house.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who think that the middle class is a distant dream and those in the middle class are barely hanging on. And I think the successes that we have had in North Carolina are all at risk because of the chaos in Washington right now. So that's why I think this is a good time for me to step up, go up there, try to make a difference, and always keep people in North Carolina at the forefront of my mind when I go there. And will always be a sports fan, will always continue to follow the Tar Heels, and always have my iPad in the back of the car, and sometimes I have to watch a game on tape delay. Also a big Carolina Hurricanes fan, so I have to, you got to make time for those important things in life. So I'm going to continue to do that regardless of what I'm doing.
All right, a little fun one here. We'll get you out on this one. You're not wearing a tie right now. You're wearing, it looks like a suit jacket. What break down your outfit choices based on the event, what you're doing that day. Am I going to a basketball game, Hurricanes game? Am I making a speech? Break down from head to toe what goes into your mind as you dress for the day. Yeah. Jeans, T-shirt, polo, etc.
So this is a big change from walking out of the governor's office, because pretty much every day I would wear a tie and dress shoes and a suit as governor, pretty much every day. And when I walked out of the office, and really not knowing for sure what I was going to do, I'd said, I don't need to do this anymore. So it was a great feeling of liberation to take off the tie, kick off the dress shoes, and now I've got my MJs, my Michael Jordans that I wear most of the time now, even when I'm at a dressy or event. I guess it's because I've always wanted to be an NBA analyst, and so to try to look like one, I've got my sneakers on and my suit, and I don't wear the tie except for church and funerals. And I guess now that they have a rule, I understand I would have to wear one for the Senate floor if the people of North Carolina would send me to Washington. But otherwise, I'm much more casual now. I've got on I do have on this coat, but I do have jeans on right now, and my MJs. So, and it's a scary thing, but I'll even put on my shorts in the spring and summer. But that's a scary thing.
Love it. Okay. Good time to push my promo code BHO20 for Roback. Get you a nice Q-zip like this or a sweatshirt from Roback.com. Roy, we really appreciate your time. Second time I've talked to you last time. Last time UNC beat Duke in the Final Four, if you remember, outside the hotel when you came to
That was
that time.
that was a fun game. That was a
Yeah.
fun game. And maybe I
So
could come back on and I would love to talk with you about the 76-77 Tar Heels with Phil Ford and Walter Davis and Tommy Lagarde when I was a sophomore. That was a fun year. We lost to Marquette in the finals, but there were so many exciting games
yeah,
that year. But we'll do it another time.
it
But hey, thanks a bunch for giving me some time today. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you next time. Appreciate it. All right, very special guest this time. The return of Adam Smith. It's been over a year, I think, since you came on Big Hitters. This time you're following former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. How's that make you feel?
Why has it been so long since you've had me on, Big Dog? Like, I've been on hiatus.
I think you were suspended from making appearances on Big Hitters only based on your last appearance.
Actually, we give him a lot of grief for it. My father would call it a hiatus instead of a hiatus. He went on a hiatus there, had to get his head right,
Yeah, I mean now you can be even more unfiltered and hot takey and loose, as they say, than ever.
So I am on after the former governor.
The governor, people have just listened to the governor. Maybe
Dear
may have
God.
some first-time big hitters, some political operatives listening, some Republicans up in D.C., some Democrats
God.
across the state of North Carolina listening right now.
This is like the what is the award? The order of the longleaf pine? Is that what this is kind of? There's two famous North Carolinians, you and the
Yeah.
governor, and then me.
I told Roy Cooper, I was like, yeah, me and you and Josh Stein were all products of the North Carolina public school system. We were so similar.
I mean, it's a true fact. Me too.
Yeah, as are you. Yeah,
Yeah.
pro education. All right, happy to have Adam. Appreciate your time. We're recording Sunday morning. I did not watch the game live last night. I had my niece's 10th birthday party to attend.
Oh my God.
So, my niece
I
is
remember
now
when
10.
she was born.
I know. She was
Good
born
Lord.
10 years ago yesterday. So we're recording at 11 a.m. roughly on Sunday morning. I watched the game, took some notes, was texting a lot of people during it, looked at some stats. Adam watched it live. How was that? How was the atmosphere? It looked pretty good crowd.
It was a good crowd. It was pretty full. I don't know if they announced it a sellout or not. We didn't have the greatest seats. We sat in section 200 row T, so upper deck end zone.
Okay.
We were behind. We're behind the 2005 national championship banner. So we're just a few rows from the top. I'm not sure how far it goes. I don't think it goes to Z, but we were in T, maybe X.
Nice.
But we're pretty high up there. But honestly, I should not talk crap. It was a pretty good seat for the price and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it was Saturday ACC games in January, February. There's nothing like them. You get, it's packed. You get the students there. You got the kids. Families can come with their kids. It's a great atmosphere. Before we jump into it,
500th win, Ross. 500th win in the Dean Dome. That was. We can say that we saw history yesterday, last night.
Before we jump into it, I did not do a Roback read during the Roy Cooper appearance. Let me do it now. This is the new sweatshirt I got myself and my beloved future bride for Christmas. It's the Roback Ready Collegiate Hoodie in navy. There's one for women. There's one for men. It also comes in Carolina blue. It is very comfortable. The Roback Ready Collegiate Hoodie. It's awesome. Got the little UNC emblem there. Super comfortable. A little bit different than the other ones I've been pushing. What are those called? The Hezi Collegiate Hoodie. This is the Ready. Awesome. Big hood. Got the pouch in the front. Super soft, super comfortable. So check those out. I didn't even know they had the Carolina blue. The navy was available over Christmas. So check that out. Promo code BHO20 to get 20% of your offer off your purchase there. And anything on Roback. Anything, not just UNC stuff. So check it out. A lot of good stuff for men and women on that website. All right, Adam. The Tar Heels defeat Wake Forest 87-84 to move to 14-2 overall and 2-1 in the ACC. controlled the game for most of it until halfway through the first half, or halfway through the second half, it seemed, when Wake went on a big run, a 17-3 run, a bunch of threes. They ended up shooting, pull it up here, Wake shot, what was it? 40% from three. They made 14 threes. SMU made 14 threes. Wake made 14 threes. A little trend here. UNC squeaks out the 87-84 win. I mean, Wake had a shot to tie it at the end there. What are your general thoughts just on this game and how the Tar Heels looked versus the Demon Deacons?
It's kind of funny. I don't know why I thought about it. Probably because the NFL playoffs were going on. But one of our good friends, yours and mine, Dan Wiederer, who covers the Chicago Bears. I don't know why I thought about it, but he likes to do after a Bears game 3-word reviews. Give me your, he'll ask his Twitter audience, give me your 3-word review for what you just watched. And I think my 1-word review would have been unconvincing. Obviously, I mean, UNC had 15-point leads in both halves. They got up quickly out of the gate. I think they were up 16-4 very quickly. I mean, they had the week off coming off the SMU debacle, and Hubert Davis talked about the commitment, recommitting to defense, and you had I don't know if Roy Williams would have done the proverbial take the rims off the backboards during the last week, but that defensive energy was there early. Forced some steals. The Tar Heels aren't a team that force a lot of turnovers, which is kind of surprising with some of the length that they have, some of the athletes that they have. But, they were up 15 in the first half, and you kind of thought, well, they're just going to cruise. Leaned over to my young son and said, you might see a 40-point game out of Caleb Wilson tonight because he was cooking early. I think he had maybe 17 first half points. But
17 in the first half, 7 for 7 from the field.
Right. Didn't miss a shot. Was dunking and laying up everything and, was looking fairly unstoppable. And I thought Carolina was going to dog walk them, honestly. And then in the second half, I think they led by 11 at halftime. They had another 15-point lead getting toward the midway stretch of the second half, and they didn't blow them out. I was like, this is a team that they're better than. I don't think Wake is going to make the tournament this year again under Steve Forbes. And instead of blowing them out and running them out of the gym and having a big party, they let them get back in. I mean, Juke Harris, Nate Calmise. I know you know these guys, ball knower that you are. I mean, this is you're talking about the thoughts from last night. It's evident that Carolina, at least in the ACC play so far, has a guard problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Boopy Miller and Edwards and those guys lit them up, obviously, down in Dallas, the SMU loss. And then you had Juke Harris, and Juke Harris is a good player. I think he's an all ACC type, third team, second team maybe type guy. And Calmise isn't bad either. He had a game winner against somebody recently, but those guys I think had 28 points between them. Ross, have you got the numbers there? I mean, they went crazy. Particularly in the second half.
They both had 28. Yeah, they both had 28.
Yeah, 56 points between those two guys.
Calmise went 10 for 16. Juke Harris went 10 for 18. They combined for 12 threes.
They hit some tough shots, but then again, they also didn't. There were ball screen lapses and just defensive lapses. I mean, and this is after Boopy Miller looked like prime Chris Paul down in Dallas.
So do you think ahead. UNC, to kind of guide the conversation here, do you think you would think you could fix some of these defensive lapses? I'm not a huge X and O's guys on exactly what the issue is with the perimeter defense, but obviously there's a perimeter defense issue where they're not making it hard enough for these guards. These guards are going off against UNC in back-to-back games. There's 3 guards against SMU that went off, 2 against Wake Forest against UNC. I don't know, what are they doing wrong? Is it an intensity issue? Is it an aggression issue? Is it a size issue? Have they not figured out the rotation? I want to dive deep into the perimeter rotation for offense and defense, but what do you think on defense that UNC needs to improve on or that they're doing wrong?
I'm not sure. And another, as you were given the laundry list there, another issue is Caleb Wilson took 2 shots in the second half.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I saw a lot of tweets about that last night. I believe he took 1 shot in the final 11 minutes of the game.
And certainly Wake was focused on limiting his touches, and he got doubled on
Yeah.
catches. There was one time, I don't know if you saw, where he sort of spun into a double team and ended up falling down. And you're like, are they going to call a foul here? They called a walk. I mean, I didn't think it was a bad call, but like, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Well, maybe it's not crazy to think about 16 games into the season, but like, Carolina's offense runs best through Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar, who are 6'10" and 7 foot. I mean, you saw it again last night where they had some nice big to big passing where one would set up the other, the lobs to each other. I mean, Vasar had a great catch in traffic very late. Carolina might have been only ahead by 1 or 2, and he had a reverse dunk. I mean, it was maybe like the final 2 minutes or 90 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, I know I diverted from your question, but it just seems like that was another huge thing to me, where it's like you got Caleb cooking so great, and it seems like you've got to figure out a way to at least just get him more touches, because he's a good distributor. He had some passes in the first half that got Jaden Young going. I can remember one time where he had the ball, sort of driving and kicked it to the corner. Jaden Young's wide open. Jaden Young had a lot of open shots last night. I mean, how about the close it out lineup, Ross? You had Jonathan Powell and Jaden Young out there, and Luka Bogavac and Kyan Evans sitting on the bench.
Yeah, ballsy. Quickly, Caleb Wilson, 22 points, 8 for 9 from the field, 6 for
Pretty
8
good.
from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Henry Vasar, 25 points, 9 for 10. I mean, he was just doing damage inside, but also his only missed shot was a 3. He was 2 for 3
What would they do
from
without these guys? What would they do without these guys?
It's a deadly combination. I mean, they got two. The front court's incredible. He finished with 9 rebounds, Vasar, and 4 assists. I mean, Caleb and Henry combined for 7 assists. They are great passers. They're great passing with each other. The offense has to run through Caleb Wilson. I mean, he's got to get touches on every possession, high post, low post, perimeter. I mean, just draw the defense, because he can pass out of it, and he draws fouls. He gets double teams. I mean, you want him to get double teamed because of how good of a passer he is. He can give you open shots. Can UNC hit open shots? But quickly, I mean, is there anything on defense you see they're doing wrong on like the perimeter defense? Are they not handling the screens correctly? Is it just like these guys suck at defense, where Kyan Evans is too small and not aggressive enough? Or, I mean, obviously Luka's not playing a lot, but I mean, he's not exactly a defensive mastermind. You would think with Seth Trimble and Jonathan Powell and Derek Dixon, they have some big bodies out there. They can throw these guys, but clearly the script is out on how guards can kind of go off against UNC, and the way to do that is let's kind of wrap this up. Like, is there anything on defense you think they can fix or doing wrong, or can be coached out of them, coached into them?
I think you hit on a lot of good points. I mean, I think the SMU game, like, they simply could not stay in front of Boopy Miller.
Like, a lot of one-on-one stuff.
I just thought he controlled the whole. How tall is he? 5'11", 5'10"? Kevin Boopy Miller out of Cleveland State, your boy.
What a nickname.
Did you hear the story about how, like, I think you've heard the story, right? Like, his dad, like, attacked a Wake Forest assistant coach back in the day in the parking lot.
When he played there, like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be why Steve Forbes isn't coaching him anymore. I think that's, you know how intel and sources can go, but I think that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, they just could not stay in front. Now, obviously, SMU made a ton of shots too, and I thought SMU overall was super physical. I just thought they took the fight to Carolina, sort of punked them down a little bit with how physical they were. I mean, they were throwing Vasar and Caleb Wilson around too, but yeah, I just thought Boopy controlled the entire game in terms of getting wherever he wanted to go, setting up whoever he wanted to set up. And you and I talked about it. It was sort of back in my days of covering this team up close. That was sort of the sum of the concerns, the sum of the fears coming out of the preseason. I can tell you for a fact for the UNC coaching staff, when Carolina played that exhibition game out in Salt Lake City against BYU, which was awesome, by the way. It was amazing getting to cover that, seeing DeBansa, being in the Delta Center. You know what the Wi-Fi code at the Delta Center is, by the way? Salt Lake City?
That's where the Jazz play, right?
Correct. This is the code to get on the Wi-Fi in the arena.
Well, they're not going to do anything about Karl Malone because of his transgressions.
Right. It wouldn't be right.
I
The
was thinking
mailman.
John Stockton, mailman. Let's go. I don't know. Jazz Stockton.
Jordan pushed off.
Oh. Do you
Yeah.
think they switched that just for the UNC thing?
I don't. That's a great question. I should have asked. I don't know. I just thought it was
That's hilarious.
freaking awesome. Yeah, it is hilarious. Amazing. Maybe they did. I don't know. It was an exhibition game.
Jeff Hornacek.
Yeah. Touching the face. There you go. Look. Oh my
know
God,
ball.
we're on the same. We're like an old married couple here, big dog.
Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube.
But no, yeah, like Rob Wright that night. And again, the game doesn't count, but it was a high level game, I thought. Rob Wright, the Baylor transfer, who's running point for BYU this year, he is certainly not ever going to be confused for Steph Curry, but he's fast, quick, strong, and he quickly got Kyan Evans into foul trouble that night. And he sort of did whatever he wanted to do. He didn't even shoot well at all, but he set guys up. And I can tell you, as I said, for a fact, coming out of that, Hubert Davis on down I'm sure they were concerned before this, but concerned about UNC's level of athleticism at the point of attack at point guard. I mean, there simply is not a Ty Lawson on this roster. There's not a Joel Berry on this roster. And I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but there just isn't. And as you mentioned, a moment ago, I mean, Luka Bogavac is not a great defender. You're trading off, when you have him out there, you're trading off what you think would be his shooting and offensive abilities for the liabilities on defense. His offensive abilities, I was doing the math here, there's been no offensive ability the last 6 games. So that's what I meant when I said they got a guard problem. I know I'm not splitting atoms here. I think every UNC fan is fully aware of that. But, last night I liked the decision. I liked Hubert. You criticize Hubert all you want to, but I did like his decision to say, you know what? We're going to roll with Jaden Young and Jonathan Powell. They started Jaren Stevenson, who obviously is one of their best defenders, if not their best defender. And Luka didn't start for the first time in a long time. Last night was a combination of things, but they have trouble staying in front of guys. They're not super athletic up there. And ball screen stuff isn't the best either sometimes. I mean, sometimes the big is not getting up when he should be, and you just dribble off into a 3 or whatever. I mean, the shot that could have tied the game at the end, I know was super deep, but I was like, dang, they need to get up on him. I don't know if you noticed that too. Calmise, the last shot that he got off, they kind of let him walk into it a little bit.
I think
anyway.
a lot of good points. The combination, I mean, you would hope that the staff is coaching the ball screen, the perimeter defense the right way.
Sure.
Right? That's the hope. I don't know. Maybe they're not.
They thought with Vasar that they were getting a super competent ball screen guy in terms of defense. I mean, did it at Arizona all the time. He's a Euro. I mean, he's been doing this since he was 8 years old at whatever academy he was probably growing up in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were doing the ball screens.
But,
I don't know.
So my point is, you'd hope they're teaching it right. All right. So is that getting absorbed by the players? Like, is Kyan Evans, Luka, Seth, Jaden, Jonathan, are they like absorbing that and doing it right? All right, maybe not, but you need athleticism. You have to have some dog in you, some natural ability to perform and to execute what the coaching staff is telling you. I like Jaden Young. He's aggressive. He kind of gets in your grill. He's a little undersized, but he's not crazy undersized. But you can be a good, pesty perimeter defender at he's probably, 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1".
I don't even know what they listed. They probably list him at 6'3". Let me see. I got the game notes.
And I'll keep talking here while you look it up. And he got out there. Like, he'd be getting out. He's quick enough. He's more athletic. He looks a little more athletic than Kyan. He's experienced.
Oh, sure.
He's certainly played a lot of college basketball. He's been in the ACC. So he's played at that level that Kyan hasn't. And it translates a little bit. He's got nothing to lose. Like, he's not paying him a lot. He loves UNC. He's going to try to, you would think he's like, man, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to work as hard as I can to gain minutes. And he played 20 minutes last night and finished with, it has to be a season high for him, 12 points,
season high
three
in,
threes.
season highs in minutes and points. He was
Yeah.
averaging 1.5 points a game going into last night, and he scored 12. They don't win the game without him last night, Ross.
Yeah,
Um,
three threes.
They
So
have
my
him
point
listed
is,
at 6'4", by the way, which is very generous.
I mean, I think Seth's what 6'2", and Jaden looks about 6'1", if Seth Trimble is 6'2". So my point is that you got to credit Hubert for rolling with him. I mean, Hubert does kind of roll with the hot hand. He'll not play players who aren't doing what he wants them to do on defense or offense. You can see that obviously with Luka. Luka finishes with 9 minutes, 0 points. God, he has had some games where he just doesn't score. 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. I mean, you expected this guy. I mean, the blue-white game, you're probably still covering the football game, but like he was just awesome, the blue-white game. And I think fans were like, damn, we got a pure kind of confident shooter who's going to give you 3 threes a game. And you saw his tape from, his international tape, and he looked kind of like a shifty distributor of the ball as well. Could play make a little bit. You haven't seen much of that. And this is where it's kind of like a catch-22. Like, times you can't play him, but if you don't play him, he's not going to get the confidence to you're not getting a rhythm offensively, not going to be able to understand kind of, how to play within the system because you're coming in for 3 minutes, getting pulled, coming for 5 minutes, getting pulled. So we'll see. I mean, I think with 3 games in now, the ACC, right? So an inflection point maybe where, he lost to SMU and slipped by a pretty average Wake Forest team. You have to make some decisions. So let's get to this now.
Didn't overwhelm FSU either. They didn't overwhelm FSU either. I mean, they beat them fine, but it wasn't. You saw what NC State did at Florida State yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah, Prince William Wade.
Continue. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, so if you have a point guard situation too. I mean, they're going to still roll with Kyan Evans. Like he is an average to below average ACC point guard. Like doesn't bring much. He doesn't bring much scoring. He doesn't bring much. I mean, a couple passes here and there. Like all right, that looks good. But what he does, he's a minus defender. Like he's a weak defender. He looks tiny out there.
He is tiny.
I'd rather have Dixon out there on defense, and Dixon can make a 3. Dixon can make a couple threes. So what do you think about what do you think of the point guard position? What do you think they should do? Do you just roll with Trimble? I mean, what do you do at the point guard position?
I don't love Seth Trimble at point guard just based on what I have in theory, if we were doing all this on paper for shits and giggles here, I think Seth Trimble at point guard makes a ton of sense. I can tell you for a fact that the coaching staff thought the closing lineup, based on this roster they had assembled, would be Seth Trimble at the point and also Luka. It'd be Seth Trimble and Luka in the backcourt because they felt like Luka could handle the ball well enough. Now, he cannot handle the ball well enough. I mean, he is like the confidence there is just it's kind of a sad state of affairs. I wasn't sure how many hot takes I should bring for the big take dog, but I honestly think, and this is such a tricky thing in this era of college sports when you're paying these guys, I honestly think you've got to start cutting Kyan Evans minutes. Now, I'm not trying to be an alarmist. Carolina's 14-2, as you said. That's a pretty dang good record. 14-2. I think they're projected to be a 5 seed right now if the tournament started. I mean, that's certainly way better than they were as they stumbled and bumbled through the first half of ACC play last season. But I think you've got to – that's what I think. Now, again, you're paying this guy. You recruited him. You paid him to come play. By the way, I don't know if you saw Nick Boyd, who they targeted first in the portal last year at point guard, had 22 for Wisconsin yesterday as they beat Michigan, who was unbeaten. 22.
Where did he transfer from? I forgot about
San Diego State.
That's
Lefty
right.
from San Diego State.
I mean,
that one I
Kyan
on the bottom
Evans.
line.
Kyan Evans was by far not their first choice. I mean, went after the Georgia Tech guard who's at Syracuse now. Nate George. I mean, they thought they had him.
Yep.
And then Syracuse just came with a bigger offer. I mean, I think Kyan Evans might have been their 4th, 5th, 6th pick.
They absolutely thought they had Nate George. They thought they were going to get Nate George on the same day that Vasar committed. They thought they had them both.
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
they overpaid for Kyan Evans apparently too. I mean, obviously now, but like
I think
even
you're
in the
overpaying
moment,
for
it was like you're
everybody
paying this much to a secondary ball handler to be your point guard at Colorado State. So yeah, you're kind of seeing this is exactly what the worst case scenario for your point guard. It's kind of what people expected, right? Can this guy play point guard? Is he big enough to play in the ACC? Is he physical enough? Does he have any plus athleticism? And none of that is happening, and he's a non-factor. So I
I,
agree. So what do you do at point guard?
I
Dixon?
remember I was thinking when you were talking about Trimble. You remember a couple years ago when Hubert used to make the joke with Leaky Black? Like, there's only one Leaky. I can't cut him up into twos and threes and put him on everybody on the perimeter. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could dice Seth Trimble up into three different guys and have him guard three different guards. That solve a lot of problems. But
So
I
what do
was
you do at
looking
point guard?
like I was saying, I think you have to reduce Kyan Evans' minutes. Um,
And give him
you know,
to
I don't. You know, everybody thought that Derek Dixon after the Kentucky game, Derek Dixon had arrived. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you go with the reason I said I didn't like Seth Trimble at point guard was just because of how slow they play when he is. You've noticed how they put him in there at the end of these halves. They had him running point guard at the end of the first half last night. They've done that a couple times. I just feel like they are even slower. They don't play fast. In terms of the tempo numbers, but I feel like he walks it up when he's in there, and he is, in my opinion, and I'm certainly not being paid to coach the team. I'm not being paid anything. In my opinion, I just love Trimble on the wings running and someone pitching ahead to him. That is one thing Kyan Evans does nicely is the pitch aheads. I'm not sure what you do at point guard, Ross. Like,
well, I like
don't know.
Dixon pitching head too. I mean, Dixon just looks,
Sure.
he kind of looks like times Kendall Marshall out there with the way his body is and kind of how he plays with he's always looking up. He's definitely not as good as
The posture,
Kendall Marshall.
yeah.
The posture,
Upright
the
dribble.
size.
Yeah.
I mean, I also feel comfortable with him. I mean, he hits a couple threes a game. That is a game changing. I mean, he is confident as a 3-point shooter. I would like to see Dixon play a lot more to get comfortable and bring Kyan off the bench. I'd like to bring Kyan at the 2 though.
Sure.
Like,
I don't
give
think
him
that's a
one
bad
role.
idea.
Give him one role. Mid-range jumpers and threes from the wing.
How about the corner? How about the one that went off the side of the backboard last night?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Right there at the 8-minute mark that kind of started that big run.
He
Open
shot it off the
three.
side of the backboard, Ross. I mean, what in the name of Cade Tyson is
Dude.
going on here? He was
That's
wide open. He shot
That's a
it
good
off the side. One of those games a couple years ago, you had floor seats right there where he shot it off the side of the dang backboard. I mean,
Yeah.
good God.
Your
What do
Mevin's
you do
showing
with-
right now.
What do you do with Luka? How about this? How about this on Luka? I looked it up. He's scoreless in 2 of his last 3 games. He's had a 0 in 2 out of 3 ACC games. Last 6 games, 29% from the field, 18% from 3. He's 3 for 18. No, 3 for 16 from 3.
This is in the ACC.
ETSU, this is the last 6. ETSU, Ohio State, East Carolina, FSU, SMU, Wake. He's had 3 games, 3 of the last 6 games, 0 field goals. I think we should talk about Luka a little bit. I kind of think it's a sad state of affairs because of the lengths that they went through to get him eligible, the ordeal that it became, the sort of, what's the word, fervor, the way they got the fan base clamoring. It's kind of funny how the fan base was like, come on, NCAA, do the right thing. Come on, you and Bubba. Get off the butt, Bubba. Get him out. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know,
Kind of reminds me of the Tez Walker situation.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then they both
go ahead.
both kind of fall flat, it's like this off season thing. It's like, we gotta get this guy eligible. NCAA, all right, Bubba, Mac, what are you doing? And then like both kind of like, all right, well, I mean, Tez was great.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's screaming this a couple months ago, and now nobody wants him on the court. Like, get him out of there! Get him out of there!
I mean, it's high comedy.
It is high comedy.
You got someone from a random county. Give me a good random North Carolina county.
Rockingham. I don't know why I said that.
You got a Rockingham
Cleveland
guy
County.
just tweeting his ass off. You gotta bench Luka. It's like, take his NIL away right now.
Alamance County, my heart. But yeah, right. You're a sham NCAA. How do you do this to this young man? And now it's like, sit his ass on the bench, please. I don't ever want to see him again.
Well, this is why NIL complicates things. You're paying these guys a lot of money, so you feel like, all right, we got to get our money's worth. We're paying this guy. We're investing. I mean, Kyan and Luka have eligibility left.
He's a professional basketball player. He played 4 seasons of professional basketball.
So it's kind of it's tough mentality. It's like, all right, we're paying this guy. We got to play him, right? We got to get production out of him, or we just bench him, and it's sunk cost. So what do you do?
You can tell with him, in my opinion, that it's such a confidence issue because he can make these shots, some of these. I mean, he has open threes that he is missing, and he also has open threes that he's passing up. I don't even know why he's not shooting them. He gets sort of into the lane and gets in this no man's land where he starts doing like just weird stuff with his feet and his hands and stuff. Like he just, like you can tell it's just such a confidence issue with him. Like
with Luka, right?
Yes. And like I know he didn't set the world on fire, but he had a couple games there when I was still on the beat. Like I think he had 19 against Radford. I never will forget. It's hilarious. It was either Radford or North Carolina Central where they're playing somebody not great. It definitely was not the Kansas game, but they're playing somebody not great at home, and Luka had a pretty good game. Phil Ford was hanging around the post game, the lounge area where we interview the players. You know it well. And he was telling people that he goes to practice and Luka doesn't miss. That you watch one of these games, Michigan State, maybe in Rupp Arena, Luka's going to put 40 on somebody's head. You watch. And I was like, yeah, Phil, tell him. Like, it sounded great. And who am I to dispute what the hell Phil Ford sees when he watches Carolina practice? He was adamant. This guy does not miss when he shoots in practice. Yeah. Which, by the way, Cade Tyson didn't miss either, in practice.
Well, that's a whole, you want to open that can of worms up. So one thing, I think on another popular UNC-centric podcast, dude, someone said that Luka was going to challenge for the most threes made in a season for a UNC record. I think because of how much he shoots. Or maybe it was single game makes, which I think is held by Wayne Ellington. Or one of those games where he hit 8 or 9 threes in a game. I think someone said he was going to challenge that record.
I would think Shimon might. I would think Shimon might be in there too. But yeah, Wayne. Well, it's just weird because when Luka first got over here, everything we were hearing was when he first got over here that he was struggling with some of the athleticism he was dealing with in terms of the people defending him, the strength, and just sort of the style of play over here as opposed to Serbia and Montenegro. Then, so that was early. That was
not many brothers over there, huh?
What do you mean? I don't understand. I don't see color rolls. So that was when he first got over here. Some of the stuff we were hearing from their workouts. Then it got to a certain point, and this was when the eligibility stuff was just raging. By the way, Luka has figured this out. I'm telling you, I had somebody tell me who I think would know, was like, Luka could lead this team in scoring. Like, Caleb is good. Henry is good. Now, this is like September or October. Probably October. October, I'm pretty sure. Caleb Wilson is great. Henry Vasar is very good. But I'm going to tell you, this is what this person told me. Luka Bogavac could lead this team in scoring because the guy does not miss open shots. And I was like, okay. I didn't know. Like, I was like, holy crap, this sounds great. You got just a sniper. And they were saying that from the perspective of the attention that the bigs were going to attract, the pressure that Seth Trimble was going to put on the defense in terms of getting in the paint, collapsing it. They just, this person was telling me this, like, he's just going to have target practice out there. Yeah.
He's going to have tons of open threes.
But the thing about that, though, like, this is not just some dude I saw at Walmart that told me this. Luka could lead the team in scoring. He's that good. So I was like, well, crap, they really need to get him eligible. This is a all ACC type player. This is a guy that holds the key to their season. And what is today? January 11th, 12th?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about, like, the guy can't make a shot, and you might not need to play him much.
All right, let's get into that. So this is 2 years in a row. You have a pretty high level transfer, or Luka, not necessarily transfer, but K. Tyson. I mean, K. Tyson's like, this guy doesn't come in and just knock corner threes. And you see what he's doing now at Minnesota. He's like top 10 in the nation in scoring. So
Top 5.
yeah, is this a Hubert situation where they're not figuring out a way to get these shooters good looks and running the offense through them? Is a situation where the spotlight's too big at UNC and there's pressure and there's too many other good players and you're not featured as much? I mean, at some point with what Cade's doing at Minnesota, it's like, God, what did the coaching staff do wrong? Or was that team just so poorly constructed with Cadeau and Elliott just dominating the ball? That was an issue. I don't want to get into Cade, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
is it can you get this guy open better? Or I don't think that you need to stop playing Luka, because I think it's in him. So you take a step back, maybe not start him. Hey, we're gonna bring you off the bench. You're gonna get 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here. Come in. We're gonna feature some plays for you and get you comfortable and get you hot early. And work you in to rebuild his confidence. Because if you take him out and don't play him, and all of a sudden it's just 5 minutes off the bench, then you're going to kill his confidence. He's going to be unproductive for you for the rest of the season. So I'm wondering what they do. They did not start him against Wake Forest, so that's kind of already there. He only played 9 minutes. So I wonder the approach now for, I think, the same situation for Kyan. Like, how do you kind of build their confidence within the season where you have to win games too? Because I don't think they're both hopeless. I think you can still get some production out of them. They need them to be backup perimeter players. But you need an alpha. You kind of need an alpha scorer on the perimeter, because Seth can be that, but you need an alpha shooter. Like Jonathan Powell, Jaden Young. Like, it's just a lot of like B and C players, it feels.
Well, don't lose sight of the fact you have literally possibly the best player in the conference on the team. So it's okay that you don't have some elite, that you don't have Justin Jackson or someone like that running around out there. I'm struggling to think of an elite
Rashad McCants.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. Like, I mean, they have two of the best players in the league, two of the best players in the country down low. It's just sort of a chess match, or checkers if you prefer, big dog. Like, it's just getting those pieces right. And no, you can't. You need all these guys. The Jaden Young game last night was huge for what that'll do to his confidence. And you're absolutely right. That's a guy who's played in the ACC. Now he's on a bad Virginia Tech team, but he's aware of what the league is about and
what it takes.
I don't think you can turn your back. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They still played K. Tyson last year 8 minutes a game, 6 minutes a game sometime. But they're not going to, they're not going to bench these guys. They can't bench these guys. You need to get Luka to see some shots go in. What you were talking about earlier, I mean, I think it's a criticism you hear of Hubert that, what's Hubert Davis doing to destroy these guys' confidence? Well, I mean, he can't make the shots for them.
They're getting open looks. Jaren Stevenson's getting open looks too. They're getting open looks. Like, honestly, I haven't really seen many threes. I'm not watching it with a fine-tooth comb, but I'm not seeing many bad shots from these guys. They're getting open looks, that you would think, you would make a third of those or 50% of those threes.
I thought they would be a better shooting team than they have been. And I mean, Jaren Stevenson is a guy I love, just from sort of the intangibles, the defense, the size that he brings. But yeah, he doesn't score a ton. Yeah, one of his best games was against SMU, and that was a blowout loss. So yeah, I don't know that I think that the criticisms of Hubert that have come out of some of these guys that have transferred out, or some of the flops that there have been, or I don't know. It's just like an easy entryway to rip Hubert if you want to rip Hubert. The guy behind me last night was on Luka, and he was on, he was grumbling about Luka.
What was he saying?
He was grumbling about Luka. Huh?
Throw the accent in there. What was he saying? And how was he saying
more
it?
country than I am, if you can believe that.
Well, this was what I was hoping for.
I don't know. Well, he had a lot to say, Ross. I heard him say that he hit a game-winning shot over Juke Harris in a summer league game. So I'm guessing he's from the Salisbury area. Nice chap. I talked to him a little bit. Didn't get a name. But he was up there with his mom and dad. And yeah, apparently he hit a shot over Juke Harris to win a game. I don't know how true that is. I questioned it a little bit. But yeah, he didn't want Luka in there. And then he would add on that, well, he's got a sorry ass coach too. So those were his thoughts.
All right,
I don't
let's
know how he makes the shots for him.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, that's the issues with this team right now are making threes and defending threes. It's simple.
And don't forget, they're 14-2.
Yeah.
I mean, they are 14-2.
Yeah, we're supporting fans. We criticize this team because it's kind of what Carolina fans do. Because you have this expectation of every year they should win a national championship, make a Final Four. But so you're gonna be critical. They did give up a 17-3 run, and it was a 3 or 4 point game there in the closing minutes. But they won, and that is ultimately what matters. They didn't cover, which is more important these days for a lot of people. But they are 14-2. Look at the schedule real quick. They go to California now.
Yeah.
So
what are your thoughts on that?
Is it Stanford on Wednesday? Pulling it up
I
here.
think it's Stanford first, and then Cal. Yeah, they could lose one of those games.
You know what? I haven't watched much Stanford or Cal basketball. You watch probably 30 times the basketball that I do. Stanford on Wednesday at 9 p.m. That is the only 9 p.m. game on the schedule.
Is that right?
For the rest, isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
I mean, the Cal game, West Coast, is at 4 p.m., so it's a 1 p.m. local time start. I mean, I remember a couple years ago, there'd be 3 or 4 ACC 9 p.m. starts at home. You'd be getting home at 2 a.m., jacked up, pour yourself a bourbon, throw on the highlights, look at the stats, look at the tweets, wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a 6-mile run.
Some of us.
But, so Stanford, Cal. What I think about it? I don't know. I think it's cool they do a road trip out there and they knock it out at once. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't particularly love Stanford and Cal in the ACC, but it's a necessary evil right now.
I think there's a perception of, especially, football too, because Stanford and Cal aren't great in football. But I think there's a perception of, with this West Coast swing that all the teams do in basketball. They all go out there and play one midweek, flip-flop, play the other, and then come home.
Well,
Duke
every other year, though. Every other year. UNC didn't go there last year, right? Yeah.
Duke will be out there, too, because they're travel partners with UNC. So on Wednesday, Duke will be playing Cal, and then Duke will play Stanford on Saturday when Carolina's playing Cal. Kind of cool for the Bay Area to get the two big boys out there. But I will tell you, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, nobody has swept that West Coast swing with their travel partner. I think the only team that has done it is Wake Forest last season. I think everyone else went out there. Now, granted, Carolina and Duke didn't go out there last year. I mean, Louisville went out there this year and went 1-1. It is not the sit back, drink a pina colada, and get some sun on your big forehead like mine that people make it out to be. And I don't think Stanford and Cal are going to wind up in the Final Four, but there's just something about that. I mean, you're going to be out there all week. They're leaving on Monday, Ross. They're leaving tomorrow. So they're getting out there Monday. They'll be out there coming home Saturday. It's a weekend in the Bay Area. And like I'm saying, you can look it up if you want to, but I'm certain that the only team last year that went out there and swept it was a mid-Wake Forest team that didn't make the tournament.
Imagine the political climate out there right now, too. Talk about the ICE protests after what happened in Minnesota.
What happened in Minnesota? I'm playing.
Yeah,
I'm playing.
I had a question. I was gonna kind of prank the Roy Cooper guy. Their PR guy who might be listening, Ben. Shout out Ben, very helpful. I mean, he was so worried about what I was going to ask. He wouldn't let me ask about Roy's fraternity history at UNC. I was going to, hey, what was it like being a fraternity at UNC? What?
I don't get that, though. This is not Meet the Press. With all due respect, this is not.
That's what I said. I was like, they were like acting like I was going to ask some heavy hitters, like, don't ask about this fraternity. here's some suggestions to make, what was it like being at UNC as a student instead of asking about his fraternity? I was like, whatever. I was going to prank him and be like, and ask about ice at the top and be like, I'm fucking with you. I'm not going to ask any heavy hitter questions. What do you think about the Tar Heels? I had it all written down. I kind of pussied out there, but it was going to be pretty funny.
Let's
anyway,
get this out of the way, Roy. What are you calling for in Minnesota, right? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think the state government involvement should be with the murder up in Minnesota from the ICE agents? Anyway, we're losing some listeners now. Stanford, how about this? Abuka Akori.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
I edit the Freshman of the Week article for CBS Sports every Tuesday morning. Shout out Cameron Salerno. Anyway,
both of those teams are decent enough, and they were here this weekend playing Virginia and Virginia Tech. The West Coast teams did the Commonwealth swing. Okori is legit. It'd be fascinating to see if he gets in the portal after this year and goes somewhere else. I mean, the all ACC team. It probably won't be that way. You could have all freshmen on it could be 5 freshmen if you wanted it to.
Let's dive into that. So, as we kind of step back, because I do want your opinion on the ACC quickly. I mean, what? Caleb Wilson, Cameron Boozer, Mikael Brown's not playing. He'd be up there, right? Abuka.
Yeah,
who else?
Caleb Wilson.
But yeah, I said that. Top.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Caleb Wilson, Cameron Boozer, Abuka. Who else are we looking at for all ACC?
I'm blanking here. Hold on one second. Can you still see me?
Yeah. It's bad podcasting. I'm looking up right now.
Well,
anyway, Vasar is to be all ACC player as well. Caleb Wilson's leading the team in that's rebounds.
You have Ryan Conwell at Louisville, but he's not a freshman. You have Boopy
Miller,
yeah.
Malik Renault, Juke Harris, Conwell, Caleb Wilson.
You don't want my take on it, but I love Miami too. They are so much improved, and they have size. Yeah, Renault is nasty. Shelton Henderson's nasty. They got your boy from Michigan, Trey Donaldson, who cleared the way for Elliot Cadeau to go into Michigan. Miami's good. I mean, that is another, in my opinion, that's another issue, Ross. I don't know if you'd agree with me. I feel like there are these ACC teams that are getting better right now, and I don't think UNC is. I would personally say Virginia is the second best team in the league right now on January 11th.
It's crazy.
They're playing great. Carolina goes there in a couple weeks. Carolina goes to UVA on January 24th. Man, that's going to be a tough game, man.
It is so hard to win legit. There. I mean, I've never seen UNC win there.
They won there when Cormac Ryan went crazy a couple years ago. They broke a long losing streak. I covered the game. Matter of fact, it was the day Kyle Filipowski died on the floor at Wake Forest. It was the same Saturday that happened.
You know what? I was in New Orleans. I was at an oyster bar in New Orleans. We watched it there.
That's nice. That's nice. It
Oh,
was a
'cause I
very
was in
low
Michigan.
scoring game, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Cormac hit 5 or 6 threes. It was a super low scoring game. RJ Davis may not have made a shot, but they won in Charlottesville. It was the 2024 team that won the ACC, and it broke a long losing streak that they had up there since well into the Roy Williams era.
You know, Cormac Ryan is the type of player that this team needs. A 6'5" defensive pest that can hit a three. Like, I mean, you take him over Kyan, over Luka, over Jaden, over Jonathan Powell. Like that, it kind of comes back to conversation. Like, you have to have I think when you get these transfers in, man, experience matters and size matters. If you don't fit a certain profile, it's hard. I mean, I think they'll never go back to a under 6'5", under 6 foot point guard. Like Cormac Ryan, he was just so versatile with what he can do on defense. And then the leadership, the activity and the aggression from a guy like him, like that, this team needs that size and that type of guard too. And it's kind of interesting how the transfer portal, you have to hit on these guys. And you're seeing the issues when you don't hit. Again, 14-2, but just a guy that a team like this could really need.
Louisville's good. I mean, Conwell's been hurt. Mikael Brown has been hurt. Is Mikael Brown coming back? I mean, that's a huge question. But, I mean, UVA's trending in the right direction. Clemson's trending in the right direction. Miami's trending in the right direction. don't look now. Will Wade's Wolfpack have gotten a little better, even though they haven't beaten anybody lately. They just went 2-0 on the road this week, winning in an empty gym at Boston College and an empty gym in Tallahassee. They went tip to tip and went 2-0.
They're 3-1 in the ACC right now, ahead of UNC.
They got a huge Ken Palm jump out of blowing Florida State out on the road, because those metrics love a blowout win on the road. I think Carolina fell like 5 or 6 spots by squeaking past Wake at home, but it's a long season, and there are ebbs and flows for players. There are ebbs and flows for teams. I was stunned that Michigan lost to Wisconsin. I was stunned that Gonzaga got challenged by Seattle or somebody the other day. I mean, like, what are we doing here? I think Gonzaga and Michigan get to the Final Four. But right now at this moment, Carolina's not playing their best. I think their best is a lot higher than we've been seeing.
Got to get the guard situation figured out, the perimeter rotation. And at some point, you got to pick a point guard and roll with them and kind of live or die by that decision. And you got to make shots. Like, I just don't like how they don't have I don't know who the point guard is. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a revolving door, because whoever you start, whether it's Dixon or Evans, you're going to sub him out and get the other one in there. And
yeah.
I mean, there was an Isaiah Dennis appearance last night in the first half. I think they played 18 different lineups last night, if I counted right.
Jesus, where do you find that? Do you just track it, or where do you find that stat?
This was me watching the game. I could be totally wrong. I was keeping it on my hand at one point, because I knew that I was coming on with the big dog, which I didn't mention until 50 minutes into the thing. I don't know that that's right, Ross. I don't know that's right, but they played a lot of different lineups.
It's crazy.
I don't know why Isaiah got in there, but he did.
Yeah. All right. One last thing here, Rowback.com, promo code BHO20. Thanks for any new listeners. Tell your friends. Subscribe on Apple, YouTube, Spotify. Tell your friends. And it's not just anything on Rowback. Anything on Rowback, not just UNC stuff. Women's clothing, women's apparel, men's. They have Q-zips, polos, hoodies, sweatshirts, jackets, fleeces, T-shirts, everything on Rowback.com, BHO20. Really helps the podcast. We're able to pay Connor and Garrett behind the scenes when you buy from Rowback. All right, off topic, Adam. What's a Saturday morning look like for you at the Smith household? What'd you do this morning?
Today's Sunday, Ross.
Oh, it's Sunday morning, yeah. I was trying to get you to do this podcast at 8 a.m. Break down the morning.
I haven't done much of anything. I had breakfast. I'm on my second cup of coffee. I showered.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Waffle. It was delicious.
Homemade?
It was delicious.
Or like Eggo?
No, homemade.
Oh, nice.
You don't have to be so surprised. I didn't know if you were going to mention, I guess there would be a deep cut for only a few people. We had a lovely round of golf the other day, and we ran into a former UNC women's golfer who played on the LPGA Tour. Do you remember her name?
No. Did you look her up after you saw her?
I did. Marcy Newton was her name
right.
when she was at UNC. Late 90s. I think 2000 might have been her last year. But I thought that was cool. Jamestown, North Carolina area, if you're out there. Go see Marcy Newton. Marcy Hart, I think maybe her married name is. But she was a beast when she was at UNC, man.
Yeah.
Those were the days when I worked at Findlay Golf Course for a couple of years, and you had to make sure in those days. I don't know how they do it now at Findlay, but you wanted to make sure that the men's team was taken care of and the women's team was taken care of when they were out there practicing. So
what a great college job.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean,
like, you're out there, you're probably hitting a lot of balls, when you can, chipping around, dicking around in the cart, back of the cart shed with the.
You could play for free. You could play for free if you want.
Unbelievable. I mean,
now, this was before they've had a remodel.
Yeah.
You know who was out there all the time was Jeff Saturday, the football player.
Yeah.
He was out there a lot from what I remember.
When were you in school at UNC?
This was late 90s. 2000 was my last year. I got out in 2000, late 90s.
So did you catch any Mac Brown? Yeah, you caught 2 years of Mac Brown.
Yeah, Mac was the football coach when I got there.
Okay.
They went to 3 Final Fours when I was there.
So
Didn't
you got
make
Bill
it.
Guthridge. You got the tail end of Dean Smith and then
Dean.
Bill Guthridge.
I was at Finley Golf Course working the day that Dean Smith announced his surprise retirement because it was right before preseason practice started. It was in October back then.
Yeah.
Go
God, I
ahead.
do remember that. That
Yeah,
must have been so
I'm
shocking.
dating myself big time here. I'm not, I'm not 35 anymore, Ross. But yeah, it was a cool ass job. I mean, I loved every second of it. Honestly, it was great. But yeah, that was shout out Marcy Newton. I mean, she could play, man. She could play. We could probably use some tips from her, big dog.
I know. I'm locking in the golf game, man. Playing a lot more. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything on your heart?
I've had a lot on my heart these last couple of months, especially going through the holidays. Appreciate your support. You find out who your friends are in times like these, and I appreciate everyone who's reached out to me. I need to get back to a lot of people, but I appreciate it. The people I know, the people I don't know, and that's about it. It's like you said, it's Sunday. Feeling the gratitude. I dressed for you like I always do.
You get a lot of. Did Aaron Beard reach out to you a lot?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's a great guy. I love.
Shout out my guy Charlie in McLeansville, North Carolina. I haven't ever met him. He sent me a beautiful email, and I have to tell you, Charlie, if you're listening to this, I needed to read what you wrote me that time that I opened the email. The timing was great. So I appreciate that. I will get back to you.
I think people will really appreciate this portion of the podcast. It's great. It's great talking about. Truly, you are, and you get distracted and go on tangents, but tangents are interesting. But you're a great podcaster because of how, you can really dive into some stuff, and you got funny little tidbits and an interesting perspective, and conversational with how you approach. I think people really enjoyed you on the podcast before you got banned from the pod by the Evil Empire. And now back on. Hopefully have you on maybe one time later, maybe February or March after a game or something like this where it's have a little more time. Post games,
I've got to wait that long. Do you have a guest lined up?
I'd have you on. I'll have you on every time. I just don't want to abuse. I don't want to take too much of your time. But we do some post games. So I'll be out for a post game. Post games, you gotta be on it though. It's like it's a quick 20, 30-minute podcast. So I think your style podcasting is good for these. It's time to breathe, time to really get into the conversation, the nuances of this UNC team. Any transfer portal thoughts? Any Bell Belichick, Lombardi?
Dude, I don't have anything nice to say. And obviously I need a job. And I don't want to badmouth anybody that I could be trying to work for. Do you have any thoughts on Bobby Petrino? What was the deal with him not announcing that forever? I think he's working there and recruiting guys out of the transfer portal, and they hadn't announced that he was.
I think it was because Lombardi was still on his typewriter typing up the release.
Very well done, Hoss.
Took him 18 days. The whole way that, they don't market themselves. Maybe because they market themselves too heavy with the 33rd NFL team and all the bullshit leading up to this season. And maybe they're just kind of like, we got to keep a low profile. And, they released the, who's the offensive coordinator? Sorry, I just said his name.
Bobby Petrino.
Bobby Petrino. They released it on Friday ahead of an NFL Sunday. Yeah, it's a clear news drop, but people got their licks in when that news broke. Whatever, I don't care. I think, look, is there anyone? Is he a top 5 play caller in college football history? He's up there, top 10.
Come on, man.
Not top 10. He knows how to call an offensive.
It helps when you got Lamar Jackson.
But he's been pretty good everywhere, right?
How about Bryce Baker, dude?
He committed to Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah, which is not a surprise, I don't think, with James Franklin being there. But what are we doing here, man?
There's a reason why he didn't play.
This is Bryce Baker we're talking about here. Jesus Christ.
What does that mean? We have never seen him play a college snap.
So North Carolina guy from Kernersville, who was highly rated, who loved Carolina, fell in love with the school, who idolized Sam Howell and Drake May specifically, who met Drake May at one of those camps, sat down in the bleachers and talked with him and was like, I want to be the next Drake May. I want to rep I'm getting high pitched here. I want to rep North Carolina. I love UNC. He stayed there through the transit.
Stuck with them.
I don't know.
Brought out on the Dean Smith floor with Belichick when Belichick was introduced. And there's the pictures of him. And, he didn't play a snap at UNC. I agree.
What a power move that was. That was a game they played against LaSalle. And you got Belichick out there talking about Dean Smith to the crowd. And here comes, he's out there with Jones Angel. Belichick is, and they motion to the tunnel. Here comes Bryce Baker. Looking beautiful.
Yeah, good looking dude.
6'5" and gorgeous. Come on.
Well,
I was covering Ross, I was going to Boschmer Stadium to cover a baseball game this past spring, NCAA tournament game, and I'm walking up the street from Rams Head parking deck that takes you obviously right past the football practice fields and into Boschmer Stadium for baseball. Bryce Baker came flying out of the practice facility, almost took me out on a scooter. And it was quite a visual because he had a Louis Vuitton bag. He was on a scooter. He was wearing cut off. He had been working out, pouring sweat, cut off stuff, shorts, Crocs, and a Louis Vuitton bag on a scooter. I'll
never understand the high-end bags. But, look, maybe the genius quarterback coach, Matt Lombardi, just wasn't able to develop him and didn't see much in him. So, the guy's got pretty heavy NIL, and so you cut your losses and go with someone who can win. You bring in the fifth-year senior ginger, Billy Edwards out of Wisconsin. And then the Texas A&M, the big dog, the 6'5".
Miles O'Neal, I think his name is.
Quarterback with the name of Miles. So
it's funny you say ginger because that's the first thing my daughter texted me. We've got a ginger at quarterback now. She's a UNC
Red Rocket
student.
baby, leader of men. Same high school as Bryn Renner.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
A
That's
big hitter. Yeah. So we'll get into football when it's worthy. But that's it. We appreciate you guys listening. An hour, Adam. An hour.
I'm sorry.
Of us chopping it up. No, I love it. It was really good. Gave us time to breathe. Gonna lock in for some NFL now. Panthers. How about that?
Well, geez. I wish I would have seen the game. It was in Chapel Hill.
What a freaking game!
There were people up there in the cheap seats with me that had the game. The Panther Ram game on. There was a guy sitting there. He's got his phone on his knee. People, they were flashing score updates on the jumbotrons in the Dean Dome.
I'll say this, covering UNC was awesome, and I loved it. It was an awesome job for the 8-10 years I had it. This time was tough when there was NFL games going on, and you're sitting interviewing, you're next to RL in the lounge interviewing a guy. There's sick NFL games on right now, and I'm crunching out some quote heavy story about Joel Berry or Theo Pinson. Much gratitude for the opportunity to cover UNC, but this time was tough. And I was I always would kind of ask off one of these Saturdays so I could just crush NFL. Anyway,
it sounded like the vibes down there were amazing. The Cam and the guys Wesley Walls and Steve Smith. It sounded like the vibes were unbelievable. In Charlotte,
they played well, man. Bryce Young. Speaking of Bryce's, all right, Adam. That's it for us, guys. Subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends. Share this podcast, Apple and Spotify. Use the promo code BHO at checkout for first-time buyers on Roback.com. Scheduling. I'm going to Puerto Rico on Tuesday for what sounds like a crazy wedding. Not my wedding. My fiance's med school friend is getting married. It's like a 3-day wedding. There's 3 days of events. There's a jungle party. There's a white party. We have to wear white. I'm not gonna. Yeah, not just all white people. I'm not gonna know anybody there. But we're going early. We're doing a little traveling in Puerto Rico, and then having a 3-day wedding, and then so we will not be recording podcasts over the next week. So we'll miss Stanford. We'll miss Cal. I think we may be back for Notre Dame after the Notre Dame game as our next podcast. I may try to go to that game. I need to get to a game here over the ACC slate.
Man, that Puerto Rico trip sounds wild. That sounds amazing. And you're going in the winter too, which is great. Like,
yeah, we always try to get to the Caribbean in January when it's cold here. You're gonna miss some NFL. Gonna miss divisional weekend down there, but hopefully it'll be on at a TV. And this is my future mother-in-law is from Puerto Rico.
I know about. I do know about some of your family dynamics. Yeah, was she? Who's going? Is she going? She's not going.
It's not a family wedding. It is my fiance's med school friend. It just happens to be in Puerto Rico, where she's very familiar there and spent a lot of time there. So we're gonna rent a car and cruise around, go to some beaches, try a lot of the local fare. I'm gonna get down some of this Puerto Rican food.
I can taste it right now. Oh my God, I'm having FOMO. Just
meat and cheese fried with all the different sauces and ice cold beer. You know how we do it. You know how we get ethnic down there with the food.
You're gonna have the top tarps off a lot.
I'll probably go Hawaiian shirt for most of the time. You know how many buttons will be open on that thing.
A lot.
Some casual shorts. I guess some sandals. I don't know.
Man, that sounds
kind of going in blind, man. I'm releasing the reins for the planning and just kind of going along for the ride.
Well, take good mental notes because I want a full report. I mean, that sounds amazing. Good for you, Ross. I mean, that's
if anybody deserves it, it's me, right?
Living your best life, baby.
Trying to. All right, we'll see you guys. Appreciate it.